Hey everybody, welcome to another Fun in 5. Bringing you today Great Western Trail. This is a game I got for Christmas last year, and we played it quite a few times, enjoyed it every time, and I can see why it's such a popular game on BGG. It has a lot of different mechanics intertwined, and they all work together very, very well to make for an intriguing multi-channel game, ways to go about your winning strategies. So why do I like this game? First off, I enjoy player boards. I enjoy games like Sice where you can kind of manipulate your board and advance it how you wish. There's other games like that give you your own boards. Castles of Burgundy, you have your own board. So this one, you have your own player board with little discs on it. And throughout the game, there'll be times where you can remove discs because of things that you've done. It could be putting your train on a certain section of the track, or it could be delivering cattle at the right value points. And then you get to remove these discs and place them onto the board, which will influence your scoring at the end of the game, but also make give you more options when you go in certain spaces, or make you more productive. It might increase your hand size. It may increase the amount that your cattle are worth at the end of the round with the buttons, and it could increase how far you can move. So all those things are great. Plus, there's other little mechanics in there for some of the switch points or special ability squares. And then on top of all that, there's also a recruiting part on your board. So when you're recruiting cowboys or workers or engineers, the amount you recruit can give you benefits in the game, also influencing your end game scoring. So there's so many things going on with this board. You can never pursue everything every game, but the way you kind of choose which way you want to go is really, really fun. Second thing I like is the board itself and the buildings that you can put on it. So the game starts with some generic buildings on it. Every player can go to those buildings and get the benefits of it. And they go through this map, and then they go up here and they score their cattle, and then they go through it all again. The map has hazards that people can place, the generic buildings, and then you can build your own buildings with abilities that you have on your board. Sometimes it can be impossible to build unless you've hired enough workers. But when you place your buildings, they give you a benefit, and they can sometimes cause your opponent some pain, especially if they have to pay to go through your square, because some of them, they have a stop sign saying that they have to stop. So you can frustrate your opponents by making them have to go different routes or give you money when they go through, while at the same time giving you benefits, especially if you can create the buildings that help work with the deck that you're building or with the player board that you're putting together. So really, really cool how that works, and every player can place buildings. So by the end of the game, this near empty board could be really, really full, and you just have to always figure out which way to circumnavigate the map to be ideal for what you want to do that turn and to get your points at the end of the round. So that is very, very cool. Third thing I like is the deck building aspect of it. So you start a game with a bunch of generic cattle cards. Some are black, gray, white, and green. And they're low value, but you can still trade them in for money and train progress at the end of every time you go through the map. But the key to this is purchasing more cattle of different colors, because if you have too many cattle of the same colors at the end of a round, they just kind of void each other out. You can only have one of each color to cash in. And so one of the key elements of the game is managing your deck and your hand, so that by the time you get to the end of the round, you have all different colored cattle that end up being worth the most points. But you could still purchase extra cattle of the higher values because they still give you end game points. So kind of balancing what you want to do. There's abilities to call cards out of your deck as well, or discard cards. So there's so many ways to manipulate your deck and build onto your deck in this game that it's quite intriguing and full of fun. The fourth thing I like is the cattle delivery system. So in this game, you are, like I said, you're going through the board multiple times, maybe 5, 6, 7 times in a game, depending on how your opponents are playing. And so each time you go here, you are going to trade in the cattle in your hand. You'll discard them. So let's say I have these 3 cards to discard. I would get it'd be worth 5 points. So then I could discard those, get my points, move my train along, or my disc on the track, and just kind of restart the round over again. But that delivery system really emphasizes how you manage your play throughout your entire walk through the map, what buildings you place, what cards you buy. There's so much that goes into it that that delivery system I haven't seen in another game. Not to say it doesn't exist, but I just personally haven't seen it, where everything you do in the course of quite a few turns encapsulates what happens at the end of that particular turn. So that's a really neat aspect of the game. And then the fifth thing I like is the many, many paths to victory. So there's a nice little scoring chart here. Many games have them. This game does it well. You get points from the gold that you have, from the cards that are in your deck, from the discs that you've placed on this train track, from the penalties that you might have taken on the lower track, from where you're putting discs on this train track. There's so many aspects to getting points in this game. Your player board has points on it, and so just managing your routes and deciding where do I want to invest to try to get the most points at the end of this game. It is a point salad type of thing, but it's all with purpose, and there's usually no surprises when it comes to how you're going to get your points. The only thing that you don't know when your opponents are going to get points is these here you may not see. I can't remember if they have to be public or not. But otherwise, you see what people are buying, you see what they're doing on the track. You'll kind of know what state you're in by the time the end of the game comes, but it's still fun to get there, and that's what's most important. So if you've never played Great Western Trail, great game, family has enjoyed it. We're looking forward to playing it again, and probably getting one of those alternative versions in the future. Thanks for watching.